Hello and welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It's time for a chow break. We just rescued a bunch of the little guys. So now let's see how our little guys are doing. But first, while we're in here, I figured I would show off some of the options and the extras. First of all, we're gonna put the voices in Japanese. Whoop. Yeah, just because we can. Just for a little change of pace. And let's just I'm just gonna show you what these options here are. So here's the tutorial. Omochao will tell you about stuff. We're not actually gonna do this. There's the emblem list. So this is your list of all the emblems you have so far. The difference between picking emblems off the list here and off the level select is you can't actually pick what mission you're doing. It's only going to give you the next one in the sequence. So if I were to hit A on City Escape here, it would give me mission 3. Whereas from the level select, I can select any of the previous missions I'd done before. When I was really young, before I kind of knew how level select worked, I thought this was the only way to get to the other emblems. I didn't know you could choose them from the level select. And of course, whoops, you got the sound test. I used to spend so much time here as a kid just listening to all the songs, particularly the character songs. If you've been listening to the covers I've been doing, this is where I'm getting the footage for that. But anyway, now that we've seen that, let's go take a look at our little guys. Let's go with Eggman, because he loves the Chao and he knows it. I'm just going to give you a little overview of where we are, and then on my own, I'm going to be doing some raising and, looking for items and stuff, because there's a lot of real-world time that goes into this. But let me just give you a quick overview, see what we've got so far. So far we have Dingy, who's going to be our hero Chao. AJ, who's hopefully going to be our neutral Chao. And Star, who's going to be our dark Chao. So that's where we are so far. I'll see you back at different points during my progress with the Chao raising so I can explain what's going on. Just here to check in to explain a bit of the evolution mechanics and also show off some items. AJ here has these stats right now. I've been giving him some Chao drives, or Chaos drives between levels. One thing to explain about the stats is as the stats go up, their actual abilities will change as well. So currently he's level 3 swim, which is not enough to let him swim. He still drowns in the water, but he is level 6 run. And when you hit level 1 run, the Chao will actually start to walk instead of crawl, so if you would be so kind. I've also got some items in the water here. I've done this because previously when I've played this game, if I keep the items out in the open, they tend to despawn. I like to think of this as the Chao eating them, but if you keep them in the water, I've never had issues with despawning. I've got a couple items to explain here. This is a mushroom. If a Chao eats a mushroom, it will go up by 2 stamina every time it eats part of the mushroom, whereas if you eat any normal fruit, it'll just go up by 1. The Chao fruits will raise the Chao's stats, all of the Chao's stats, every time it eats part of it. They're a little expensive. They're 200 rings each in the shop, but I figured I'd spring for a bunch of them. Also, the way to get the Chao to evolve is technically by just letting real time pass. I want to say it's 2 or 3 hours of real time and the Chao will evolve. But if you feed the Chao, and I'm not entirely sure how this works, but as long as the Chao's eating, that clock goes down. It's a glitch, it's not intended as far as I know. But I've got a bunch of fruit to feed this guy, and I'm a little bit worried that if I feed all of this stuff to him off camera, he might actually evolve. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave the camera rolling. I'm going to cut most of this out. I'm not going to make you watch me feed the Chao for 30 minutes, because that's usually about how long it takes to get a Chao to fully evolve. And I'm just going to leave it rolling, and whenever AJ here decides it's time to evolve, that's when I'll cut back in. You may see me with a different character because I'm trying to keep AJ neutral. His little dot right now is pretty yellow. If I notice with Knuckles that it starts turning too blue, I'm going to switch and get a dark character so it doesn't turn into a hero Chao. But, that can be a little hard to control, but I'm going to do the best that I can. So I'll see you in however much time it takes for this guy to evolve. Just popping in here to show you guys that the Chao can play the instruments that they learn in the kindergarten, and little Star here has decided that he wants to play a bell. one of the more annoying sounding instruments, but still really cute. This is why I like taking them to kindergarten, because they learn little stuff like this. Just checking in on the progress real quick. You can see if you look at AJ's head, it's starting to form points. So there's two little spikes coming out the back, and the point on the top is also starting to get a little bit more dramatic. That's because time is passing rapidly the more we feed it. I think AJ's going to turn into a run Chao, but based on whatever stat is highest, the Chao will turn into a Chao of one of these stats. And the way you can tell is by looking at their head. And if it's a regularly colored Chao, then by looking at their colors as well. But he's getting there. I'll check back in when he's fully there. After much character switching and shoving food into AJ's face, he's decided that it is finally time to evolve. Fingers crossed that I did this right. I think I did. I think he's going to turn into a neutral Chao. We'll find out if we hear music. See, the Chao comes into a cocoon. The cocoon slowly becomes more and more opaque. And when we've hit the point where you can't see through it at all, that's when the change happens. And I do not hear music, which means I think we were successful. That looks right. Very good. If you successfully evolve a Chao into a neutral type, the little ball on the top of its head will stay the exact same shape. I believe this is a neutral run type Chao. It's a little harder to tell with the colored Chao because their coloring doesn't change. But I think from the back of his head, I think that's what we've got. And there you have it! Look how cute he is! I am going to evolve Star and Dingy into a Dark and a Hero Chao respectively, and then I'll meet you back here. Here we are, and Star is evolving. There's no question about it this time, he's definitely going to turn into a Dark Chao. If you're going for Hero or Dark specifically, there's basically no way to mess up. It's only neutral that can be a little tricky. So there he goes into his tiny little cocoon. Rouge waiting impatiently. And there's the jingle for the Dark Chao. You get a minor key short jingle. And I believe you actually get another one when the cocoon is finished going away. And there he is, looking substantially evil. You'll see that the animal parts actually changed. That's because the animal parts will do different things to an evolved Chao and an unevolved Chao. So they look just a little bit different. And there he is, in all of his glory. I believe he is a fly Chao. Alright, I'll see you in a second for when our friend Dingy evolves. And that's it! Our final Chao evolution. Dingy is going to turn into a Hero Chao. Move this out of the way. There we go. Let's see what our little half sheep, half raccoon is gonna look like when he wakes up from his evolution. There's the hero jingle, it's major key. And we're starting to be able to see through the cocoon again. And there he is. He's got a little halo. Dark Chao have a little spiky ball. And his eyes also look different. And that's that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show off a glitch. You can only do this with Sonic and Shadow. What's the right spot for this? You can clip out right here. And then you're just sort of out of bounds. You can go through the background here, sort of end up in this nowhere land. I used to love to do this as a kid. You can actually get pretty far away from the main area, and like you can watch that get super, super tiny. It takes a long time though, so I'm not going to. But this is like the only major glitch I knew how to do consistently as a kid. I don't recommend doing it with Chao around because you can hear some drowning. It makes all the Chao drown under, like, in the ground, and this unfortunately does make them unhappy. The only way to fix this is to leave the garden and come back. Now that we have a hero Chao and a dark Chao, let's show off exactly what that does for us. Now that Star has evolved, he'll always be a dark Chao, so I can, pick him up and pet him and do whatever I want with any of the hero characters. You can go down here, and we've got the Dark Garden. With its own music, its own trees. Oops, somebody's happy to be here. And its own Chao. You get a free Chao for doing this. This is also extra storage. You can now store up to 8 Chao in this garden, as well as 8 Chao in the main garden. And let's go see what else we've got from this evolution stuff. So, of course, just like you unlock the Dark Garden with a Dark Chao. Where's Dingy? Dingy! Ugh, he went to sleep. Sorry, gotta wake you up. They get unhappy when you wake them up, but we're just gonna take them upstairs real quick. Of course, you also unlock the Hero Garden. Alright, you can go back to bed now. You get another free egg. You get another nice area with its own trees, its own fruit, its own music. The Hero Garden is my favorite. I think it's the general atmosphere. You get those bell towers out there, you can hear the bells going off. As far as I know, I don't think you can clip out in the Hero or the Dark Gardens, or at least if you can, I've never figured out how to do it. So let's leave these guys sleeping for now. And I'm gonna go get some animals, because we gotta decorate our Chao. Okay, I've got a bunch of animals for our little friend AJ here. Some of them are special, some of them aren't. The half-fish is special. I got a bunch of them because it's actually a little bit rare for it to do what it's supposed to. Also, the bone dogs do something special as well. The bone dog, as you just saw there, will remove animal features. So if you ever put something on a Chao and decide you don't like it, that is how you can get rid of it. But the bone dog also does something else special that we'll talk about in a second. Let's see, just trying to get some last minute stats for AJ before we have him do some racing. Let's hope. Looks like, no, still nothing from the half-fish. That's really unfortunate. Come on. There we go. If you give a Chao a half-fish, sometimes their little Chao ball will turn into a ball of fire. That is my personal favorite type of animal thing. And I do believe that this Chao just got sneakers. Alright, who else do we have wandering around here? Was that everything? Here's another half-fish. I think the half-fish might take features away as well, but I could be wrong about... could be wrong about that. And there's just one last thing we need to do. If you give a Chao a bone dog, they will learn how to put on hats. So now we have a little egghead wearing sneakers. Cute. I'm going to show you how to get some emblems from the Chao Garden, because you can get emblems. You do it with the race and the karate. Karate is very simple, so we're going to start off with that. Interleague game means play with other real people, I think. But we're just going to do a tournament. This Chao, I'm pretty sure, only has the stats to finish the beginner course, but they're all the same. It's just that the Chao gets stronger as it goes. So I'm going to show you one round of karate, and then we're going to be done here. So here's our little AJ looking nice and ready. And this is just a watching game. There is nothing you can do to make the Chao battle faster or better. The only input that you have is if their zeal bar at the bottom goes to 0, they will start, I believe, meditating, and then you can mash the A button to make that process go faster. But other than that, this is just all completely up to what the Chao does. I'm not even entirely sure that this Chao can beat the beginning course of karate. You have to have some pretty high stats for it. But I'll just show it anyway. If we get the emblem, we get it. If not, then I'm not going to spend a bunch of time trying to make AJ into a prime fighter. I'm just going to give you an idea of what this is like. In fact, there's 5 rounds here. I'm debating whether or not I even want to show all 5 of them. But I probably should. This is, needless to say, not the most exciting part of your Chao journey. At least with the races, there's a lot more happening and there's a little bit more input that you can do, but this is just like, watch Chao, see if Chao hits, see if Chao gets hit. So see, the other Chao just got a low zeal meter, so now it's meditating. You can win in 2 ways. You win by either decreasing the opponent's health to 0 or by knocking them out of the ring. And conversely, you can lose in those 2 ways as well. It seems like AJ's doing really well here, and he is, but the last Chao of any set is going to be really hard. So I'm not entirely convinced that AJ can beat the last Chao of this set, but we'll see. Chao in the beginning one don't look all that exciting, but soon enough you'll start to see Chao with different coloring, with different hats, different animal parts. It can be kind of an interesting way to get some motivation, some inspiration to decorate your own Chao. I'm pretty sure I learned about the existence of hats by playing karate. God, I love AJ's little shoes! I can't get over how cute that is. See, this guy's got a pot on his head, and his name is Dinner. I don't know if the hats necessarily give quote-unquote armor. I think it's just that the higher up you go, the more natural defense the Chao have. But it can seem like that sometimes. And Chao's going to sleep. That's a pretty good sign. If the time runs out, I think it just goes to whatever Chao has the most health. Alright, so that's 4 out of 5, but the real battle is coming up. I'm not convinced completely that AJ can beat Happy here. But who knows? Maybe I should put more faith in the little guy. That could work. Yeah, this could work. Happy is one of my favorite looking Chao. I love the apple hat, it's one of my favorite hats, and I love the bunny parts. So I definitely took some inspiration from Happy in my own Chao journey. It looks like we're probably gonna win here. Alright, I take it back. Go AJ! Very nice. And Chao gets a little happy grand champion dance. Yay! And you get an emblem for that. You get 1 emblem for beating each of the difficulties of karate. If you beat all 3, there's an expert stage that opens up. You have to beat that one as well. But we're not going to do that. I don't feel like it's necessary to make you watch it, and also I don't feel like grinding up the stats to do it. So next up is the Chao race. There's a lot of them, and you have to play all of them a bunch of different times. You got the beginner race, party race again, as I think with other real people. There are 4 beginner races, and there's 3 levels for each of them. You have to play each of these races 3 times, which means there's a total of 12 races in the beginner stage, and this is just the beginning. A lot more opens up after this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liberty of doing all of the races 2 times first, and then I'll let you watch the last one. So I'll see you in a second for that. Okay, I've got the first 2 of each of these races completed, so let's jump right in, starting with the crab pool. You can skip this animation of all the Chao coming out. I'll show it to you once. Why not? This is the part of the game where you might realize that there are different types of Chao. As a kid, I would look at these guys and I would think, why are their heads all different? Mine doesn't look like that. because these Chao are swim-type Chaos, or they're budding swim-type Chaos. None of the Chaos in the beginner races have actually evolved yet. But the crab pool is the swimming race. You should have good stats for all of the races, but each of the beginning races focuses on a single stat, and this one is, of course, swimming. That little pan there of the Chao was unskippable, and AJ was sleeping at the beginning there, but it doesn't matter. So this is going to be, you know, the swimming race. Swimming along, you can see the stamina meter, it does slowly go down, and if you have 0 stamina, then your speed is cut significantly. If you press the A button, you'll use some stamina, and the Chao will get a little burst of speed, which I am going to continue to do. Not because I need it, you can see I'm pretty far ahead, but just because it makes you go faster. And I feel like going faster. Not a whole lot of interaction in these races, as you can see, but unlike karate, at least you're always moving, you've got the cool background pieces. I love those little crabs with their little googly eyes. So funny, I love those things. So I just find this a little bit more entertaining. I actually really love the Chao races normally. They're a little obnoxious right now and I'm trying to get them done in a timely manner, but I do love them, you know, playing casually. Congratulations! And because this was the 3rd race, we actually get a prize. I will show you what this prize does soon. Let's get all the prizes first. Alright, jumping right back in. You have to select the Chao again every time, unfortunately. Off to Stump Valley. This is the flying type race. Although, this race even more so than other ones, your other stats are going to matter. That looks like it might actually be an evolved Chao right there. Yeah, I guess maybe some of these guys are evolved. And they're off. You need some run stat for this bit right here. Here's the flying part. And you also need to be able to swim, because you're probably not going to jump the entire lake. And you also need to be able to climb, which is power. So this says it's a flying race, but it's really more like a all of the races type, or all of the stats type race. And there we go. I love listening to that. Our prize for this race is a watering can. We got a shovel before, now we have a watering can. Okay. Moving right along to Mushroom Forest. Alright, up next is Mushroom Forest, which is my favorite looking stage. I love mushrooms. I think they're cute, and I like to eat them. It's that simple. This is the running race. I don't believe there's any flying, I don't believe there's any swimming, and I don't believe there's any climbing. It is just pure running. All the way. I am fairly confident that AJ has enough run stat to beat this, but I will be helping him along with stamina just in case. I think we're gonna be okay though. You just gotta be careful not to overuse stamina, because remember, if you run out, your Chao can't run anymore. Or he can run, but he runs at like half speed. There we go, easy. No problem. Though I'm willing to bet that run is one of his lower stats because he struggled a little bit in that race. I'm not sure he would have been able to win if not for the stamina boosts. And for that we get a rattle, which I believe is a personalized toy that your Chao can sometimes pull out, just like if he was gonna do like a dance or something he learned in kindergarten. I'm not gonna stick around until I can catch him doing it, because he might not do it for hours. And then Block Canyon. Mushroom Forest was my favorite looking stage. This is my actual favorite stage because it's over very fast. This is the power race. And it looks like the competition isn't exactly showing up at their best, but I guess that's good for us. Oh, I like that red Chao there. That might be a two-tone Chao. I'll explain that in a second. But Yep, up we go. Ooh, that red Chao's gonna be a problem. Climb, climb, climb. But yeah, this is the whole thing. When you get to the top, you're done. Wow, did you see that? He was right behind us. Wow. But we did it. That is all the beginner races. I'll show you a bit of the next races, but I'm not sure I can beat any of them, to be honest. We get a little car, which is another personalized toy. There are some toys you can win that will go to the garden, so like, oh, and that's right, you get an emblem for finishing all 4 races 4 times. That opens up a bunch of other races. You get the jewel races, the challenge races, the hero, the dark. Hero and dark I think only open up if you have a hero and dark Chao. Jewel races are like normal races, but they're a lot longer. There's different components to them, and there's a bajillion of them. I hate it. There's just so many. You can see here, key to winning is swimming, key to winning is flying, key to winning is running, key to winning is power, strength. I think there's actually a couple of hidden races that you can unlock by beating the other ones, where the keys to winning are intelligence and luck. I will not be doing that. I will show you one race. I'm not even going to show you all 4 because I'm pretty sure the course is like very similar, almost the same. I don't know if I'm going to win. In fact, I suspect I probably won't. But I will show you how these races work because there's a few more components. You can see we've got some more evolved Chao. And I'll just take you through. Whether we win or lose, I'll show you what... Yeah, look at that. Not going super well. But you're going to have a lot more obstacles that have to do with luck and that have to do with intelligence. So here, this is the aquamarine race, so there's going to be a bit of swimming. But I'm pretty sure that besides like the little skill area, I'm not even gonna catch up here. Besides the little skill area, a lot of the sections of these races are actually the same, which is why I'm only gonna take you through one. We're just gonna let them go. As long as we finish the race, that's fine. This little cave area is very similar, if not the same, in all of the races, and I believe... Oh, I could be wrong about that, actually. Yeah, I think I was wrong. Alright, so I'm actually going to quit out of this race because it's very clear we're not going to win, and I just kind of want to show you the lay of the land. I just want to show you like a couple of things in particular. Let's look at the Topaz race. Your Chao needs to have really insane stats to be able to beat these races, especially like at the end. I want to say you have to have like levels in the 70s. Which is more than I'm willing to do for this. You do not need a Chao with all S-level stats, or even a Chao with any S-levels or any A-level stats at all. Like, as long as you have a couple of semi-decent stats, you can pretty much beat these races. You need to get them pretty high up in terms of, like, Chao drives and stuff. What the numbers for, or what the grades for the stats do is they determine how big of a number you can get for that stat. So like, I don't know the actual numbers, but let's say you've got a Chao with a D in power and a Chao with an A in power. The D in power might only ever get up to 2,000 power points, whereas the A might get up to 4,000. So it's just like that. Alright, so I think I actually got a little bit mixed up. I think I'm thinking of the Dark and the Hero races. So you can see here the Jewel races are just sort of like expanded versions of the other ones. I do believe it's actually I think it's the challenge races that I'm thinking of. So the challenge races are against a specific type of Chao. Here we've got the strong gold and silver Chao. These are Chao, I believe, that you can only get by going into the tiny Chao Garden in Sonic Advance 1 or 2. And I'm pretty sure this is the course that's always the same. So you can see all these really cool Chao, types that you didn't even know exist. So that's the cool thing about the challenges. You get, I think there's one where they're like all skulls, there's one where they're like chaos type Chao, which I'll explain briefly. But yeah, here we go. You have this obstacle here, the Jack in the Box. This is a luck-based obstacle. It is entirely RNG, whether you get it or not. If you have a high luck stat, you're more likely to be able to pass. If you have a low luck stat, you're less likely, but obviously it is entirely up to luck, and there's nothing you can do to really improve that. And I think, I actually have never done a whole lot of these challenge courses, so I don't know if the course is the same every time, but I do know it's very similar. We're doing very well here, that's just because the Chao had bad luck. They're going to catch back up. We do not have enough stats to beat this race. I don't even think we have enough stats to place in this race, quite frankly, but I just wanted to show you the extra obstacles. This is a long climbing section, and I would prefer it was done. Here we go. I think here, yeah, here we go. We've got an obstacle. This is based on power, you know, how fast you can get the fruit down, but there may be some intelligence that goes into which tree he picks. But yeah, this is mostly power based. So like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we just got it down, but the other Chao that got in here are going to have higher power stats, so yeah, one of them finished before us. Oh, that was probably the one who got here first. There's one more obstacle I'm thinking of that I'd like to explain. I believe we're coming up on that next. Very cute music for these races. A little bit of swim, a little bit of fly. You have to have good stats in everything to be able to beat these kinds of races. And just to remind you, intelligence and luck are hidden stats. They go up every time you give a Chao a chaos drive or an animal. They go up more if you give the Chao chaos drives, which is why I prefer to train with chaos drives instead of animals, because I can't really do animal duplication anyway. But coming up, there should be a little puzzle. Yeah, here we go. There's going to be an object pictured on that little screen there. In this case, it's a Sonic doll. The Chao needs to use their intelligence stat to find the doll, but they also need to be fast, because if they get here and all of the objects are gone, then they don't have a choice but to go for the wrong object. Like, I'm actually a little concerned that we're just going to be too slow. Oh, he's going for the wrong object anyway. Ugh. See, that's the problem with having low intelligence, is sometimes they mess those puzzles up. So we're going to get stopped. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. That's too bad. We were actually looking at maybe getting second place. Yeah, it stops you for a real long time. I'm not gonna show you the hero or dark races because it goes through this same course again. This is basically it. This is what the advanced races look like. We may actually get third place. You can see those Chao just tripped back there. That's also dependent on your luck stat. I thought for the longest time it had to do with your run stat. It does not. It's your luck stat. Oh, look at our cute little shoes. Ooh, we might even get second place. I'm pretty sure you can't unlock the next challenge race until you get first place in the race before. But still, yeah, we're only getting a third. We're in a race that we really don't belong in, so placing it all is kind of neat. Although we might actually run out of stamina. That's okay. I really just wanted to show off the advanced course. Oh, look at our little AJ with his little egg hat. I have to say, AJ might be one of my favorite looking Chao that I've ever made. Just the simple combo of the shoes with the hat, I love it. I just love it. He's so cute. Alright, we are actually gonna get second place. That's really cool. Oh, I took a risk there. Never mind. We were gonna run out of stamina anyway. I was thinking of the crab pool where that would be the end of the race. But no, that's right. There's this extra obstacle here. This is also a luck-based obstacle. You have to choose the correct path. If you choose the incorrect path, then you fall in a hole. And again, this is luck. Depending on your luck stat. See, they're all catching up. That's what happens when you run out of stamina. You start going slow. It'd be nice... Oh, see, he just fell in a hole. It'd be nice if we did not fall in a hole. Ah! Oh my god! It's not usually that many of them. Alright, so we came in fourth, so we didn't place, but that's okay. I get the feeling that if I trained him up just a little bit more, we would have been able to place, but that's a lot of time that I'm just not going to spend. But yeah, I love AJ so much, I'm considering recreating him in my personal file, so he can live on forever. And it just says try again, you don't get any prizes or anything. So that was the course for the challenge races. It was also the course for the hero and the dark races. I'll show you the menus for these. Only hero or neutral Chao can compete in these, or actually that's not entirely accurate. Anything that is not a dark Chao can compete in here, so an unevolved Chao can compete in these races as well. There's the hero. Here's the dark. But that's why I like to make my major Chao a neutral Chao, so it can compete in both the hero and the dark races. Here's the dark races. You'll notice that for the hero Chao, you're competing against dark Chao, and for the dark races, you're competing against hero Chao. So that's it for Chao racing. There's only a couple more things I'd like to show off. So I'm not gonna cut the video here. I'm actually just gonna go straight into the gardens, because I want to show you what happens when you dig in the Chao Gardens, which is quite often nothing, but you can also find pumpkins. These are hats, your Chao can wear them. They also sell for 50 rings. Back in the day, before I knew about other ways to get rings, I used to grind for rings that way, and it's still a decent way if you're like short 50 or fewer rings and you want something in the that's in the black market right now. Digging one of these up is a decent way to get it. Fruit will sell for 10 rings. Pumpkins in the hero garden as well. And then if you go down to the dark garden, you'd think the pumpkins would actually fit pretty well here. But the developers had something else in mind for the dark garden. Down here, you get skulls. Yes, the Chao can wear these. Yes, it is adorable. Alright, I've got one more thing I want to talk about, so I'll see you in just a second. Okay, there's just a couple things left that I have to explain. First of all, what do those little rewards from the races do? If you buy a seed and you give it to a Chao who's won the, whatever race it was that gives him the shovel, also he's got a little medal now because he beat all the beginner races, you can give a seed to any Chao, but if they haven't won the shovel, they're just going to walk around with this little question mark above their head, and they're just going to be very confused. And eventually they'll drop it. You can hear him do that little That means he's found a place to use his shovel and plant the seed. This is a circle seed that I gave him. That means it's going to produce circle fruits. You can have up to 3 seeds planted in any given garden. The seeds will not live forever. If he's got the watering can, you can also water the seed, which will make it grow faster. These trees will not live forever. They will bear a certain amount of fruit, and then the trees will die. There are seeds for every fruit except the Chao fruit and the heart fruit. You got a cute little tree here. The trees all look different too. There's seeds for all the different shapes of fruit. There's seeds for hero fruit and dark fruit. There's seeds for normal fruit called tasty seeds. And then there's also strong tree seeds, which are, again, normal fruit trees, but they last a lot longer. I've never really saw the purpose in those. But while this little guy finds a nice spot for our square fruit seed, I will explain these shaped fruits. Each Chao has their own preference for circle fruit, square fruit, or triangle fruit. If you give a Chao a fruit that they like, it will make them happier. So we're going to see this guy absolutely devour this circle fruit. We can hear AJ having his little epiphany back there. And there's one circle fruit devoured. If you give them a fruit that they don't like... Oh, interesting. I just learned something new. Because this guy's favorite fruit is supposed to be square fruit. It looks like if you give a big eater Chao any kind of shaped fruit, they will like it. See, I am still learning new stuff about the Chao all the time. But anyway, if you give a Chao a fruit they don't like and they're not a big eater, they will toss it away. Let's see if Star will eat this. No, it doesn't like that one. I wonder why he ate both of them. They're not supposed to have 2 favorites. I wonder if that was a bug or if that had to do with him being a big eater or what. But either way, the way it's supposed to work is they're supposed to have 1 favorite fruit. The one more thing that I'm going to explain is Chao breeding. If a Chao is evolved, and I do think they have to be able to walk as well, although I'm not sure about that, you can give them a heart fruit. If a Chao eats a heart fruit, it will become willing to breed. And if 2 Chao are able to breed, in fact, it might even just be if 1 Chao is able to breed, but I've always done it with 2 just to be safe, then you can breed your Chao. I've got, see, now we've got the heart there, he's in a breeding state. I actually want to see if you can only do this with 1. No, they do both need to be in that like breeding state. He'll stay like that for a little while. So let's have Star finish up the heart fruit. This can happen naturally, but it's very rare, and the chances of you getting 2 Chao that are able to do it at the same time is like astronomically low. Now they're gonna breed. Very cute. I'm going to briefly explain how breeding for colors works. If you breed 2 colored Chao together, you will get one of the 2 colors. If you breed a shiny Chao with a non-shiny Chao, you have a chance of getting a shiny Chao, so you can, in theory, breed for shiny colors without having to get them from the black market. If you breed a shiny Chao with a normal Chao, you can get a normal shiny Chao. And if you breed a normal Chao with a colored Chao, this can happen. This is a 2-toned Chao. It will change colors and features just like a normal Chao, but it's always going to stay this color pattern. Stats are passed along from both of the parents. So if you've got a Chao with a really high stat, you've got a 50-50 chance of it passing it on to the offspring. Or it could get the stat from the other parent, which is not what you want. There's good guides for breeding online. Chao Island is one that I really like to use. That's pretty much all there is to Chao. The only other thing is the Chao life cycle. So eventually, after a certain amount of real-world time, a Chao will either die if it's unhappy, or it will evolve. It will be reborn if it is happy. So it turns back into a baby Chao. You have to evolve it again. It loses all of its features. It loses all the animal parts. It loses its typing. It does not lose all of its stats. So it loses the stats from the chaos drives and stuff, but if it had like an A in swim, it will continue to have an A in swim, except it raises 1 stat. So I believe it raises your highest stat. So like if you have an A in swim and a B in everything else, and you are no, sorry, that's evolution. No, if your Chao evolves, it raises your highest stat. Sorry about that. But the only other thing to talk about is the chaos Chao. If a Chao is reborn 2 times, and then you give it 1 of each animal and it evolves again, it will turn into a Chaos Chao. Chaos Chaos cannot die, they will stay the same forever. And I'm not sure if they can take on animal parts either. I'm not super clear on the details of that. Again, Chao Island is a good resource for that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to explain about the Chao. Stick around if you'd like to see my personal Chao collection. It's just going to be recorded off my phone. So I understand if you guys want to leave now, but if you're interested, that will be at the end. Thanks for watching me play around in the Chao Garden. This is more or less the last we're going to see of the Chao. I'll poke my head in a little bit later just to say goodbye to everybody. But thank you very much for watching this bonus episode, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye. As promised, here are my own personal Chao from my GameCube file. I've got slot A here, that's my main file with 165 emblems. I've got my first 2-tone Chao over there, I'm working on those next. The guy with the egg I was using for breeding stats and decided I loved him so much I kept him around. This guy I'm using for breeding stats, and this is the chosen one. This is going to be my all S-rank Chao. Down here I've got my shiny black Chao, and also I've got all of the hats except for the paper bag. I have the paper bag, I'm just waiting for a suitable guy to give it to. That is my black Chao. That's going to be what I call the chosen one for the dark Chao. He's going to be a chaos Chao eventually. And let's get to the hero garden. Here's my soon-to-be, well, soon, one day to be chaos hero Chao. That's the original dinghy. This is Melody. She's a Chao I picked up over the years. Shiny white, shiny green, shiny orange, normal white, purple, green, shiny normal, brown, I believe that's a shiny gray, oops, shiny red, blue, shiny pink, orange, gray, yellow, red, shiny lime green, I think, and then shiny sky blue, yellow, sky blue, shiny blue, green, pink, shiny brown. And so those are my colored Chao. I'm going to back out of this real quick so I can put my other memory card in. I keep my Chao stored between 3 memory cards, so I'm just going to swap that out real quick. This is a spare card that I use to get new Chao if I need them. So I'll go in, I'll get the egg, I'll hatch it, transfer it over, delete the Chao data, start again. Yes, that came out of an Animal Crossing box. And on this file, I have all of the different typed Chao for run, swim, and all that. That down there is Chang. That was my very first ever Chao. She is my normal neutral Chao, and then I've got neutral swim, run, fly, power. Perhaps not in that order. This guy is going to finish out the set, because you can see I'm not quite done with that. That guy is going to be a Knight's Chao. If you go online, you can see guides on how to get Chao that look like certain characters from Sonic games. Down here, again, I've got all the stats for Dark. That's going to be a Shadow Chao. And then some of these guys I have lying around as spares because I do eventually want to get the like double statted Chao. So like these have all evolved once, and then if you continue giving them stats, it will like make them not evolve again, but like their coloring will change. So again, here's all 4 stats. That's going to be a Sonic Chao, and then that's a little spare that I'm using. I'm still working on breeding all the 2 tones. I don't know if I'll be able to store them all in here or if I'm going to have to start using my spare memory card as storage, but I'll worry about that when we get there. Alright, that's the Chao break. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great day.